Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Mile 17 podcast. It's Colton. I am doing it solo today. I have a topic that I really wanted to discuss with you and just unpack something that I think will be really beneficial for you and for me to kind of look back and realize like how far you've come. I think a lot of the times we forget just how much we've done in our lifetime, whether, you're looking back over 1 year or 6 months even, or you're looking back over 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. Like when you can start looking back this far in your life and then realizing like, God damn, like I really have come far. Like we forget when we're in the moment to give ourselves credit and to marvel at the growth that we've gone through. And if you're going through a time right now where you feel like you're not growing and maybe you've taken some steps backwards and you've developed habits that you don't love about yourself and your life is not going in the direction that you had planned and wanted it to go, that's okay. This is a reminder for you that it gets better and you can use today. Today can be your ground zero. Today can be your moment to shine and to start building something that will make you proud and happy in the future and start changing the daily habits that you take to be the person that you want to be. And you need to remember that this is going to look so different for all of us. Some of us are career people, like we want, to strive and achieve such great things in our career. Some of us just want to be the best parents that we can possibly be. Some of us just want to travel the world and see if we can get to as many countries and cities as possible by the time we're unable to travel anymore. And like this can look so different, and like there's a million different avenues that you can go down as far as what's a fulfilling life for you. But my purpose today is to shine some light on how far you've grown. And I have this idea to kind of like go through this journey with you, and I think if you try this, it'll really surprise you and it'll give you some amazing perspective. So the reason that this came to my mind was because I remember sitting at my job that I have right now. I am currently travel nursing, and I've talked a lot about this on my social media and in this podcast of just not being very satisfied with where I'm at in my life as far as feeling fulfilled in my career. Like, it's not that I don't like what I do, it's not that I don't find pride in being a nurse and helping people and having those skills and knowledge to do so. But I just don't feel like this is the path that I want to be down for like my entire life, if that makes sense. And as I was sitting at my job, this was probably about a month ago now, I just started thinking like, wow, like I dreamed of this moment. Like I wanted this so bad when I was in nursing school, when I was sitting in those lectures and just kind of daydreaming. Like I really wanted this moment. Like I could not wait to be a travel nurse. And it was just like this like fire inside of me. I could feel it. Like I knew this was going to be my life one day. And I've never taken the moment now that I'm here doing it to realize like, wow, I'm living this dream that 19, 20, 21 year old Colton had. And I'm in it. I'm in the thick of it. And it's not what I thought it would be. And that's okay. That's a whole nother topic for another day. That's okay. If you get to that dream, if you get to that vision, if you start getting really into this thing you thought you wanted and you realize, oh, maybe this isn't it. Maybe this isn't what I want to do. Amazing. That's growth. That shows that you have done work, that you are learning about yourself. And I don't chalk that up to a mistake. I don't chalk that up to a failure. I think that in this life, like we have to experiment and we have to have experiences that show us like this is what I want or this is really what I don't want. I had this like vision, this idea that I was going to go back to school, maybe be a CRNA, maybe be a nurse practitioner. And the more I've gotten into this, like the more I've been like, no, like that's really not what I want. And that's beautiful. Like I don't take any experience that I've had for granted. And I don't think that any of the jobs that I've had or any of the skills that I've obtained or anywhere along the path has been a mistake. I really don't. I think that it's meant for my journey. And no matter what I've decided to do, I'm going to be able to help people and I'm going to be able to harness these experiences and the knowledge that I've gained to help and to push forward into my next endeavor. And I love that. It's amazing. So what I wanted to do is to take you back and let's just kind of like look back. I'm going to use my cell phone. I have my phone here. Typically, I just have this to the side on do not disturb when I'm doing this, but I'm going to use it today because I want to try this exercise and you can try this too. And maybe it will spark something inside of you or give you just a little bit of perspective on how far you've really come and just show your brain like physical evidence that you are not in the same place that you were before and that you are growing, even if you're going through a hard moment in life or you're not really where you want to be. It's okay. Let's just like look back and see what we can find. And it doesn't have to be like the day that I'm recording this, like you don't have to go to the exact date, but like try to find like a couple weeks, maybe a month like span that was like a year ago right now. And for me, if I go back to the exact day, it's kind of fun. It's kind of funny to look at. I the only picture I have in my phone from this day in 2023 was that I bought Kelly Clarkson tickets. I'll even show you. Yeah, I bought Kelly Clarkson tickets and oh my God, like this just like brought up such a fun memory for me and Kai, my husband. We had gone and seen Kelly Clarkson in Las Vegas, not on this day, but I had bought the tickets. But it just gave me that memory. And I remember buying these tickets and just being so freaking excited to go see Kelly Clarkson in Vegas. It was so worth it, by the way. If you ever have the opportunity, go see Kelly Clarkson because, oh my God, I would see her a million times over. It was amazing. But as I'm looking through my phone in this like month-ish this month-ish span, I had gone down into Boston and gotten my bib for the Boston Marathon, which is where this whole podcast was, manifested from. I ran the Boston Marathon. That's coming up here in a couple weeks in Boston, and this year I am volunteering and I'm working at one of the medical tents, and I'll be at mile 22. I'll do a whole episode on how that goes for me. If you're on my social medias, you'll be able to see the day of. I'll definitely be like recording things. I don't know if I'll be able to post the day of just because there's really not a lot of service because there's so many people. But yeah, like I'm just like going through this and I'm like looking at all these amazing pictures. Like my sister had come to Boston and visited and was here to support. She surprised me. It was like such an amazing surprise. She came and supported the entire race. I had Kai with me the entire time. This was us after the race in Boston. And it was so amazing. And, right after that, we had gone to Arizona. So I got to spend some time with my friends there, got to see some of my family and see, look, poolside Arizona. That's how it is in April in Arizona. But wow, this is fun. This is amazing to kind of look back on and just see what was going on last year. So as far as like how I can say, I guess growth, I'm training now for 2 half marathons and a full marathon. Whereas last year when I ran the Boston Marathon, I was like, I'm never doing this again. This was the worst experience. I loved the experience. I shouldn't say it was the worst experience. I loved the experience, but afterwards my body freaking hurt, and it's because I didn't prepare like I should have, and I had pain everywhere. Go listen to the Boston Marathon episode. I believe it's episode 11 of this show if you want to hear about my whole experience with the marathon. Amazing, like amazing. So I travel a lot. So around spring of 2021, this would have been 3 years ago. I was still living in Arizona. Um, Look at me and Ellie again, poolside Arizona, and I can just see, like, I can see on my face just like a different person. I've grown. I can just see like that I have like aged with wisdom and that like I can like carry myself a little bit differently. I dress a little bit differently. Kai and I had gone to Vegas. It was COVID time, so look at us. We had masks on. Like, wow, how the world has changed in that amount of time, and what a different life we were living. Taking this fun trip with Kai, we went to Sedona, saw some snow, and that quick drive from Phoenix. How fun! Okay, here I was working as an IV nurse in the Phoenix area. I was going to see a client here. It looks like I'm in an elevator. So, anyways, this is amazing. Okay, so this is April 2017, right here. This would have been I believe this is my second semester of nursing school. Look at that. My clinical group. Some of these people are still like my best friends. I am actually going to a wedding this weekend. By the time this episode is released, I will have already been to the wedding. Actually, the day that this is released, I will be at this wedding. So this is a great topic to kind of go back on. So 7 years ago, I was in nursing school, going through the grind, and this kind of ties into like what I'm saying. Like I was dreaming of this moment back then. Like this is where I saw myself. This was the vision that I had for my life, and without even really knowing it, I was kind of manifesting this. Like every decision I was making was leading me up to this moment. Like I remember like at that time, like I would join travel nurse groups. I would like research things. I would reach out to travel nurses that I knew that I just like had on social media or like knew through friends, and I would just drill them and ask them questions. So if you're a nurse out there, if you're a nursing student and you have questions, like if you want to know about travel nursing, like follow me on social media, get me on Instagram, TikTok, like whatever it may be. And like I'm so happy to answer these questions because what you need is people who have already walked the walk and like been through the things that you're wanting to do. Like find mentors, and that's not to say you have to do it the same exact way that they do, but just like getting some insight and like figuring out like, yeah, that would work for me, or no, like that's not really like what I see for myself is huge. So as I think and look through this exercise, like if you don't have that far back on your phone, I know you have tagged photos on Facebook, or, you know, look back in like old journals or whatever you can do to just like physically see where you were 5, 7, 6, 10, however many years ago, that can make you physically see like, wow, like I have come so far, and then write about it. Write down in your journal, or even if you just want to sit and just visualize and think like, and like just marvel in the moment that you're in, and like be like, wow, like I am here. Like 7 years ago, I wanted this, but I would have never imagined that I could actually get here, because it's a long road. It's hard work, and you have to gain some experience, and you have to get yourself out there. You have to get all your ducks in a row, and things like the pandemic happened where it's like things are like thrown, you get such a curveball thrown at you that you have no idea what to even do next. But if you can take all these experiences and turn them into something positive, and to realize that even if you fail a little bit or you have some setbacks, that you're learning, you're gaining wisdom, and to not be just like so complacent and like so, what I'm learning, this is like so hard for me, is not putting so much emphasis on the destination, because so often I'm like, yeah, I want that. Like, I want to get there. That's something that I can see myself doing. But sometimes when we tie so much to the destination or that thing that we want, we tie so much meaning to it that when we get there, it's not as great as maybe you thought it would be. For example, running the marathon. Like when you get to the finish line, yes, it's amazing. Like the emotions, such a wonderful feeling, but then like the pain kicks in and you start to feel shitty because you need to like eat, you're tired, like you just ran for like 4 to 5 hours, 6 hours, however long it takes you. Your body is going to be beat. And so like that moment, yes, like for a second, you're like, this is the most amazing feeling in the world. And then you crash. For me, the journey was the best part. Like the actual running, the training, like all that is like the best part of all this. And that's the metaphor for life, is like you have this destination, you have this dream, this vision, and that's amazing. I love that. Like you need to have that, something to look at that you can like feel that you want to just like grasp onto. But again, for me, like it's like learning to just like sit in the journey and to be comfortable with not being there yet, and realizing that this is the beautiful moment. This is like the beautiful part of life. It's like being in the journey of things and working towards things that are going to make your life better and make you overall happier and more fulfilled. So I hope that this helped. I know this is kind of a short episode. It's going to be about 20 minutes or so. But I really just wanted to share this experience that I had with that feeling that I had at work with, oh my God, like I'm in that dream. I am in that vision. I never thought I'd actually be here, but this is like what I always wanted. And again, like sometimes we're so busy living our lives that we just don't even realize it. And we're like, for a second, you're like, oh, like what? Like I always wanted to live in a new city. I always wanted to live in a city. I always wanted to travel nurse. Like I always wanted these things. Like I wanted to work in the emergency department. And again, now that I'm here, there are certain things about this that I just love and is amazing and fantastic and everything I could have ever wanted. And there's things that are not. And that I'm like, okay, I thought I wanted this, but I don't. And that's okay. And that's growth and that's learning. And that's the whole point of being a human, trial and error. And once I think we can wrap our minds around that and accept that and just continue learning and going down this amazing path of life and taking everything that we have and realizing that each day is like such a blessing. And like I just heard from one of my podcast guests the other day from Blake is, each day is like the best day of our lives because we're still here. We still have a chance to be better, to improve our lives, to experience this life. And there's always going to be setbacks. There's always going to be failures. There's always going to be downfalls and bad days and things that just aren't great because that's being a human. But if you can learn to shift your perspective, love the journey and appreciate what you're doing and realize that like you are gaining so much wisdom by just what you're doing each and every day, then I think you've grasped kind of the purpose of life, right? Like, and that means something so different to all of us. And this journey is so different and unique. Like, there's nobody else like you. You are the only one, as Jamie Kern-Lima will say. You are the only you. Like nobody else has experienced this life. Nobody else is as unique as you because you're you. You're the first person to ever do this. You're the first person to ever be you, and that in itself is so unique. So that's what I got for you today. Thank you all so much for being here. It's the Mile 17 podcast. Catch me on Instagram at Colton Lord 17, TikTok at Colton Lord 17, and stay tuned. We've got some great guests coming on Thursday. We have an amazing episode, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. So take care, do some reflection, and if you do this exercise by looking back on your life, I would love you to share these pictures with me on Instagram or wherever. Tag me in your stories and show me like the growth that you've gone through because it's amazing. Like it's so cool to look back and be like, wow, I have grown and own it. Like be confident, own the fact that you have grown and that you have gone through these trials and these difficult moments and that you've made it to the other side. I'll catch you guys later. Have a great rest of your day.